Alright, so can you guys see my screen now? Hello? You guys there?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, so can you guys see my screen? The language.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, that's good to know. Okay, so for the topic today is the language of relations and functions. Okay, let's start. So let me just discuss the basic or the types of sets. So the first thing that you need to know is empty set or null set. So, napakasimple lang, okay? Huwag nyo nang pahirapan. When we say empty set or null set, it is a set that doesn't contain anything. Okay? Walang element or wala kahit ano na meron dun sa loob na yan. Okay? So, the symbol for empty or null set is a P. Okay? So, this is a symbol. So, in roster form, P is denoted by like this. Okay? Wherein, of course, this is a set which contains nothing. So an empty set is a finite set. So when you say finite, meaning you can count the elements inside of it since wala naman siyang element na nandun. So mababasa mo pa rin. Like for example, 0, okay? Walang laman or there's no element inside of it. So since the number of elements in an empty set is finite. So for example, the set of whole numbers less than 0. So this is a set wherein it is representing an empty set. So, analyze natin kung bakit siya naging empty set. So, it says here it is a whole number or a set of whole numbers wherein whole numbers are 0 onwards. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then onwards. So, sabi dito, yung condition natin, the set of whole numbers less than 0. And then, if you're going to take a look on this one, wala naman tayong whole numbers na less than 0. Okay? Ang whole number lang natin is 0 and above. If it's less than 0, that is already an integer. Okay, so hindi na siya whole number. So clearly that we could see that there is no whole number less than 0. So therefore, it is an empty set. Okay, so marami pang example, but this is one example of an empty set. Okay. So next, ito pa pala yung mga ibang example, akala ko yun lang. Alright, so we have here n as a set wherein it contains an element, x wherein this x is natural numbers or an element of natural numbers ranging from 3, no, actually it should be greater than 3 or x is greater than 3 and then less than 4. So balikan natin kung ano pa yung mga natural numbers. So when we say natural numbers, similar with whole numbers, pero hindi nakasama yung 0. Okay? So as you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 or onwards. Okay, to infinity. And then if you're going to take a look on this one, your element x should be greater than, less than 2, and then less than, okay, your x is greater than 2, and then less than 3. Okay, so basically, it is ranging from 2.01 hanggang 2.99. But if you're going to count it as part of this element, then hindi na siya natural number. Yung mga yon is rational numbers na. So kung titignan nyo to, itong set na to doesn't contain anything. Okay, because we're only going to consider the natural numbers. Okay, other than that will not be accepted, like rational numbers or a number with a decimal. Okay, so here A is an empty set because there is no natural number between 2 and 3. Okay, so meron tayong ibang number but it is not a natural number. Okay, so we have another example. Let B is equal to, or we have set B wherein x is a composite number less than 4. Okay, so what is this composite number? So this one is actually similar with prime number. So I have here the definition of composite number. So composite number is a positive integer that can be formed by multiplying two smaller positive integers. Okay, so in here, it is equivalent to, it is a positive integer that has at least one divisor other than 1 and itself. So multiplyable siya by two smaller positive integers like 3 times 2, okay, which is 6, wherein 6 is can be divided by 3 or by 2. Kasi sabi dito, dapat madidivide mo siya other than a divisor 1 or by itself. So in that case, meron tayong another 2 dividends, which is 3 and 2. So we could say that 6 is a composite number. How about 5? Hindi naman kasi siya pwedeng masabing composite number kasi kapag dinivide mo yun by 2, you'll get 2.5. So dapat integer. Okay, when we say integer, dapat whole number lang. Okay. 4 is an integer, yes, but the only dividend on that one is by itself. Oops, hindi pala. Tama, pwede by itself at saka ng by ones. Pwede ring 2. Kaso nga lang, ang pinaka-minimum natin is 2 smaller positive integers. Wherein 2 times 2, hindi rin eh. So, yung number 2 lang na yun is isang small integer lang. So, kailangan pa natin ng iba, okay, na integer. Wherein kapag titignan mo, wala nang iba na pwede mong pang divide sa 4 maliban sa 2 or sa 1 or sa sarili niya. So, in here, 4 is not considered as a composite number. So, moving on, hanggang 3, hanggang 2, hanggang 1, kung i-analyze yun or kung i-identify nyo siya as a composite number, those are not qualified as a composite number. Thus, this set B is an empty set because there is no composite number less than 4. Okay, our minimum number when it comes to composite number is 6. Okay, so para hindi kayo mahirapan, okay, you can always ask Mr. Google. So, search natin. List of composite numbers. Pero bago nyo gawin to, before getting the list of composite numbers, so you should learn kung ano ba talaga yung pinaka-main meaning or pinaka-main definition kung bakit nasabi siya na composite number. So meron tayo dito 4. Oops, kasama pa lang 4. Okay, let's see. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. But in here, I see. So may bad. So 4 is part of the composite number. Okay, pero sabi kasi dito, less than 4. So we're only going to consider 3, 2, and 1. Okay? So if you're going to analyze it, 3, 2, 1 is not a composite number because our minimum is 4. Okay, and above. So nandito na yun, nakalista na dyan lahat. So lahat yan, there's more than 2 dividend, either from itself and then by 1. Okay. So like 4, which is can be divided by 2. Pero hindi mo siya mapo-form. There is one thing na hindi mo siya mapo-form because it says here, it is a positive integer that can be formed by multiplying 2 smaller positive integers. 2 smaller positive integers. Well, anyway, hindi naman sinabing hindi pwedeng maulit. Okay? So, dalawang 2, okay? Dalawang 2 is a 2 smaller positive integers other than 4. So, that's why maybe 4 is a composite number. But then again, so 3 to 1 na i-consider natin kasi less than 4. So, B is an empty set. Okay? So, note that this P is not equal to this set. Okay? So, very obvious naman. Bakit? Kasi this set contains an element. Okay? Wherein that element is 0. Okay? So, this one is a set which has one element, namely 0. So, the cardinal number of empty set is 0 kasi nga wala namang count of elements doon. Pero kapag sinabi natin ito, a set that contains a number 0, so ang cardinality nito is 1. Kasi this one is still an element, kahit ano pa man yan. Okay. May element pa rin yung set na. So they are not equal. Okay, so bago natin tapusin tong empty set or null set or void set, okay, so tatlo yung pangalan niya. Clear ba so far? Did you guys get the idea of an empty set or null set? Hello guys? Diyan ba kayo?
Meron pa sir, meron pa sir.
Alright. So naintindihan nyo ba kung ano ang empty set or null set?
Yun lang sir. Oh, like.
No? So, when we say empty set, does not contain any element. So dapat walang laman yung set na yon. So that is considered as an empty set. Ang complicated lang, okay, is kung paano nyo ma-identify kung empty set ba siya or hindi. Kasi yun na nga, yung mga terminology tayo like natural number, whole number, composite number, even prime number. So you guys should know those kind of or those type of numbers. Okay, para masabi nyo na, okay, this one is an empty set kasi according from my solution, wala naman talagang elements na nagbibilong to this set. Okay? So again, I'll repeat, when we say empty set or null set, it does not contain any element. Okay? Alright, so moving on, we have here singleton set. So, very straightforward din. Okay, huwag kayo malilito. When say singleton, single. Isang element lang yung meron dun sa set na yon. Okay? So, it is a set which contains only one element. Right? So, we have here examples. We have set A, wherein set A has an element of neither prime nor composite. Okay? So, alam na natin kung ano yung composite number kanina wherein it is ranging ito. So, starting number natin is 4 hanggang sa kung saan man yan. And then, what about prime? What is a prime number? So, I've prepared the definition of prime number here in case you don't know what is the meaning of prime number. So, a prime number or a prime is a natural number. So, that is the first characteristics of a prime number. So, natural number is 1 onwards. So, hindi kasama yung 0. Oops. Is a natural number greater than 1 that is not a product of two smaller natural numbers. So when we say prime number, hindi nakasama yung 1. Okay? So 2 and above na yung kino-consider natin. Kasi sabi dito, it should be greater than 1. That is not a product of two smaller natural number. So dapat yung product nyo is 2 and above. Okay? And then where are we now? So natural number greater than 1 that is not prime is called composite. So it says here, a natural number greater than 1 that is not prime is called a composite number. For example, 5 is a prime number because the only ways of writing it as a product is 1 times 5 or 5 times 1. 5 times 1 involve 5 itself. Okay? Wherein in composite number, hindi siya kasama dito. Okay? So meron siya pinagkaiba pero medyo similar sila. Anyway, pag nalilito ka pa rin kung ano ba yung prime number, okay, so you can always search or you can always ask Mr. Google. So list of prime numbers ranging from 1 to 100. Okay, our starting from my prime number is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on and so forth. Okay, so yun yung mga listahan ng mga prime numbers natin. So going back here, alright, so it is, so yung condition natin, it should not be a prime number nor a composite number. Okay, and then kung papansinin nyo, 1 is not a composite number and then 1 is not also a prime number kasi sabi dito, should be greater than 1. Okay. And then 2, yung susunod doon, 2 is already a prime number. Okay, 2, 3, 5, 7 hanggang 4, 6, ayun. So, dire-diretso na yon. And then kung papansinin nyo, yung lahat ng yon, kung pagka-combine niyo yung examples ng prime saka composite number, lahat sila is like kompleto na aside from 1. So in here, we could say that this set or set A is a singleton set. Kasi isa lang yung element niya, okay, which is 1. So moving on, we have another set wherein x is a whole number and then x is less than 1. And then as we all know, whole numbers are starting from 0 onwards. Okay, and then yung condition natin dito is x is a whole number and then x is less than 1. So the only number that is less than 1, which is also whole number, is 0. So therefore, we could say that this set B contains only one element, which is 0, and is a singleton set. Okay. So moving on, we have another example So set A contains an element x wherein x is a natural number. And then we have another condition. So x squared should be equal to 4. So yung x natin is not natural number. And then another condition is x squared is equal to 4. Mapapansin niyo, natural number is ranging from 1 onwards. Okay? So in here, yung next na condition niya, dapat kung ano man yung sa-substitute mo number dito sa x squared should be equal to 4. And then, ano ba yung number na yon? Okay? Ano ba yung natural number na yon na kapag substitute mo dito sa x squared will give you a result of 4? Yeah. Katulog kayo, no? Alright. So, check ko kung nandiyan kayo, Mr. Elixir.
Mr. Elixir? Sir?
Alright. Sa labas ka pa, talaga nag-date, ikipag dito. May nakita ko eh. Alright, how about you, Mr. Joshua?
Naku po.
Sir.
Alright. Mr. Asap?
No, sana all.
Ba't, sir?
Wala, chine-check ko lang kung nandiyan pa kayo. Mr. Neil dyan.
Sige, gitdi.
Share it. Kaday mo.
Share it ko, Adi.
Ay, Bluetooth.
Yo.
Alright, so Mr. Shin? I don't know, Miss Shin or Mr. Sheyan Sembrano? Tulog yata yun, Mr. Jer? Babae. So Miss Shin, right?
Sir.
Okay, that's good. Nandiyan ka. Mr. Pierre?
Present, sir.
De Vera?
Present, sir.
De Vera, Mr. De Vera. Ay, Miss De Vera.
Sir?
Alright. Mr. Ronald? Wala yata. Mr. Chris?
Present po.
Mr. Isaac? Wala yata. Miss Karen?
Present, sir. Dak, sir.
Meron daw. Miss Karen?
Present, sir.
And then Mr. Ayan.
Present, sir.
Alright. So, ano yung x natin dito na dapat natural number din siya na ang result niya is 4. Pag sinubstitute mo dito, x squared is equal to 4.
Sir, 2.
2.
Okay?
So,
Sir, 2,
here,
sir.
kung papansin ninyo, our only number that is equal to 4 is 2. Meron pang isa, which is a negative 2, pero yung condition nga natin dito is natural numbers lang. So, ito ay integer. So, pwedeng dalawa, pero dito is natural number lang, kaya 2 lang yung possible number natin dito. Okay? Thus, here A is a singleton set because there is only one element, 2, whose square is 4. Okay, so moving on, we have the last example. So set B. So set B, x is an even number, prime number. An even prime number. Okay, so iisa lang yung even prime number natin. Kung papansinin nyo, dapat alam nyo na to, which is 2. So balikan natin yung example natin kanina. Okay, so ito yung mga list of prime numbers. So starting natin is 2, and then the rest are odd numbers. Right? So the only number, okay, in here, or the only element in set B is 2. Okay, so thus we could say that here B is a singleton set because there is only one prime number, which is even, which is the number 2. All right. So moving on, finite set. So ano say finite, meaning you can count the elements inside of that set. Right? So, for example, the set of all colors in the rainbow. So, lahat naman ng colors dun sa rainbow is masasabi mo kahit 100 pen or kahit 150 pen or kahit 1 million pen. You can still count it. Okay? Next one is set n, wherein set n is an element of natural numbers. And then your x or your element should be less than 7. So again, yung natural numbers natin is 1 to onwards. Okay? So in here, our elements of set n is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So this one is finite because you can count the elements inside of it. Another one is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. Alright. Okay. Sige. So babalik daw si Mr. Alexri mamaya. Mahina daw yung signal. Anyway, so moving on, we have here another set. Yun nga, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina. So 2, 3, 5, 7. So those are odd numbers. Okay, hanggang sa ma-reach natin yung 97. So kahit 100 elements pa yan, or kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, kahit 1,000 or 1 million pa yan, as long as nabibila mo yung nasa loob, we call that one finite set. Okay? So very clear naman. When you say finite, you can count the element inside of it. And then if we have finite set, of course, we have the counterpart, which is the infinite set. Wherein here in infinite set, we cannot count the elements inside of it. Meaning infinity nga siya. Okay? So for example, the set of all points in a plane. Okay? So lahat naman ng points in a plane is continuous. So hindi natin alam kung kailan siya mag-end. Okay? So infinite siya. Another one is set A, wherein set A contains natural number. And then it should be greater than 1. Okay? So natural numbers is 1 and then positive onwards. And then as we all know, wala namang katapusan yung positive numbers. So patuloy lang siya ng patuloy. So this one or this set is infinite. And then the next one is set of all prime numbers. So the same with this one. As long as pasok siya dun sa category or dun sa characteristics ng prime number, then you can say that that number is a prime number. Kahit trillion pa siya, kahit quadrillion, or kahit quintillion. Okay, this one is still infinite kasi nga unending siya. So note, all infinite sets cannot be expressed in roster form. Kasi nga, wala siyang limit, walang boundary. Okay? Next one is cardinal number of set. So when we say cardinal, it is the count of elements inside of that set. Okay, so napahapyawan na natin to kanina. So cardinal is the count of elements inside of that set. So hindi lang basta count of elements. So dapat distinct elements or unique elements. Okay, dapat magkakaiba sila. So for example, we have here set A, wherein set A contains natural numbers, and then it should be less than 5. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this is the elements inside of set A, wherein pagbibilangan nyo yung elements sa loob neto, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the cardinality of set A is 4. Okay, so ganun lang kasimple. Kung ilan yung bilang nyo sa loob neto, ng set na to, is yun yung cardinality niya. Okay? Another one is the set of letters in the word algebra. Okay? So, lista mo lang lahat yan. And then, kung papansin nyo, mauulit yung letter A natin. So, again, in a set, dapat distinct lahat ng nandun. So, pag may naulit, pwedeng tanggalin nyo na yung mga yan. Okay? Kasi hindi naman mahalaga kung ilang beses naulit yung character na yun or yung element na yun. Okay? Ang mahalaga, dapat magkakaiba sila. So, in here, as you can see, we have A, L, G, E, B, R. So, hanggang dyan lang kasi naulit yung letter A natin. Okay? Wherein, dapat walang maulit. So, in here, we have a total of 6 elements or the cardinality of set B. Okay, you can write that as something like this. And as the groupings or parentheses, B is equal to 6. Okay? So, that's it for cardinal number. Any questions so far up to this point? May hindi ba nakagets? Or can you guys still follow?
All okay lang, sir.
Alright, how about the others? So if you guys have a question or clarification, so feel free to ask me anytime. Okay? All right, so moving on, we have here equivalent sets. So this is very important. So dapat hindi kayo maguluhan dito. When we say equivalent sets, the one that we're comparing is the count of elements inside of it. Okay, so we don't care what is the distinct elements inside of it. Okay, what uh, uh, ano, ano man tawag dito? Ang kinakount lang natin, okay, or kung saan tayo may pake, okay, is the count of elements. Kahit na magkakaiba or hindi magkaparehas yung elements ng dalawa, so wala tayong pakialam doon. So in equivalent sets, what we're trying to look for is the cardinal number, okay? Not the physical character, not the physical characters, or not the physical ano bang tawag dito? Physical appearance. Okay. So, hindi mahalaga yung physical appearance ng nasa loob. Okay. Kahit magkakapares pa yan, hindi nyo mahalaga. Ang mahalaga is yung count of elements. Okay. So, as you can see right here, we have numbers and then the other one are letters. So, we have 1, 2, 3 wherein the count of elements is 3. And then another one is PQR wherein the count of elements is 3. So, in here, we could say that set A is equivalent to set B. And then take note, the symbol for equivalent is like this. Okay? So, arrow siya papunta sa right and then papunta rin sa left. Alright? And then, ito na yung dapat yung alalahanan when it comes to physical appearance, equal sets. So, dapat dito, magkaparehas talaga sila ng physical appearance or ng distinct elements. Okay, so we have letter P here, we should have letter P on the other side. If we have letter Q here, we should have letter Q on the other side. So in here, hindi naman wala namang problema when it comes to arrangement. So kahit magkakaiba sila ng arrangement, as long as this element is on the other set, then we could see that they are already equal. So R is already in here, S is also in here. So, kompleto sila. PQRS is in set A and then same time, PQRS is also in set B. So, therefore, we could say that A is equal to B. And at the same time, since parehas naman sila ng cardinality, okay, parehas sila ng count of elements, we could say that A is equivalent to B. And then A is also equal to B. So, moving on. So, universal set. So when we say universal, it is a set of all elements under consideration, denoted by the capital U. So kung before meron tayong mga special letter para sa real number, sa integer, sa rational number, so meron pa tayong isa, okay, which is the letter U. So when we say letter U, it is the universal set of the elements under it. Okay? Or we could say that all other sets are subset of the universal set. So imagine that this is like the universe, okay? So square, wherein siya yung may hawak ng lahat ng set. Okay? So let's have this example para mas ma-appreciate nyo. So we have here the universal set wherein it contains an element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have a set 1, 2, 5, 6, and then another set which is 3, 9. So in here, as you can see, we have here a Venn diagram to represent these sets. So meron tayong set A, which is coming from this 1, 1, 2, 5, 6, and then set B, which is 3 and 9. And then yung mga hindi nakasama dito sa set is now still inside on the universal set, which is 7, 8, and 4. Okay. So kapag hindi siya kabilang sa set na to, then we could say that nandito lang siya sa labas. Okay. Like, wala silang lugar or wala silang place. Pero nandito pa rin sila sa loob ng universal set. Okay? So you can think of a universal set is the big picture. It includes everything under consideration or everything that is relevant to the problem you have. So an example above, A is the subset of universal set, and then B is also a subset of universal set. So note that subsets A and B do not overlap, so these sets are disjoint. Okay, so those are some of the considerations that you can think of when it comes to this one. So the universal set is the bigger picture, and then the one that is inside it are just the subsets. Okay? So moving on. Recall. Magre-recall lang tayo. So na-discuss na natin to last meeting, subset and proper subset. Okay? Pero instead of using this one, I will just use another number para naman maiba. Kasi ito yung ginamit natin last meeting. So let's say I have a set 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have another set which is 2, 3, 4. So recap lang to or recall lang. So dapat alam niyo na to. 3, 2, 5. Ano pa ba? Alright. So can we say that B is, copy ko lang to. B is the subset, kami naman. B is the subset of A. Hello guys.
Sorry, yes.
So B is a subset of A. So why? Again, dapat lahat ng nasa subset natin or lahat ng elements ng subset natin, which is ang elements ng subset B is 2, 3, 4. Wherein, nahanap natin siya sa superset natin. Okay? So 2, 3, 4. How about C? Is C a subset of set A?
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
this one is no kasi, ano yan?
6.
May 6.
May 6. Okay, that's a good thing. So meron tayong 3 at 2 dito pero hindi natin mahanapan yung 6. How about D? D is a subset of A.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So no kasi hindi naman natin mahanap yung set na to, ay element na to dito sa subset. How about the last one?
No, sir.
E is a subset of set A.
Hmm.
So yes, nahanapan natin yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pero hindi natin mahanapan yung 10. Okay? So I hope very clear tong subset since sa pangalan pa lang dapat alam nyo na subset. Dapat nasa ilalim siya ng set nito. Okay? And then proper subset. One more thing nga pala. How about this one? D is a subset of set B. Ito, itong naka-highlight. Is D a subset of itself?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So yes. So any set that is a subset of itself is true.
The same.
Kasi lahat naman ng elements na nasa left side can be found on the right side kasi nga subset niya naman yan. Okay? So the same with the others. So B is a subset of itself. C